Namaskar, I'm Archana Kukru, and welcome to the special program of ZoomDub. We are excited to have a stellar panel of guests today who are illustrious in their film careers. Welcome to the cast of Article 370, which is to be released this Friday. Movies can be a powerful medium to convey the historical truths and knowledge and give audience a vivid perspective of history, sometimes which can be lost in the history books. They convey the emotional impact of the historic events and immerse the audience in that moment of history. A picture is worth 1,000 words, it comes to mind. One such movie is this movie of Article 370. Before we start the conversation, I would like to give the viewers a little overview and synopsis of what 370 is. For most of Kashmiris, we already know, we grew up with knowing about Article 370, but there are many guests here today for whom 370 carries a little bit of obscurity. And so it is for those folks, for those audience today, just wanted to know, wanted to let them know that Article 370 was a provision which was actually added to the Constitution of India in 1952 to better assimilate the state of Jammu and Kashmir to the rest of India. It started out as a temporary and transitional status given to the state of J&K, but later on it was basically made a permanent fixture by adding the Article 35A. Now, this article gave the state of J&K jurisdiction to make its own laws, have its own flag, while it was an integral part of India, and also its residents, the permanent residents it had, would be the only people who could own land, residence, education, and could have jobs in the state. No other person from India could have that same privilege. It also barred females from having property rights if they chose to marry someone from outside of the state. And that provision extended to the children of that woman as well. Clearly, these amendments were discriminatory to one, the minorities of Kashmir, and also to women. It also created a duality and discord between the central government and the state government, and it proved to be an obstacle for the development of the state, keeping it segregated from the rest of India. It created a wall of opacities behind which many nefarious activities were happening, particularly the terrorist activities. Ultimately, on August 5th, 2019, Articles 370 and 35A were repealed, paving the way for the state of Jammu and Kashmir to be an equal partner in the economic growth and prosperity which was being seen by the rest of India. This landmark decision by the Supreme Court and the Indian Parliament was a pivotal moment in the history of independent India. It was a welcome step towards full integration of Kashmir with India and was PM Modi's one of the best achievements so far. The movie Article 370 is based on real facts and a real life character, an intelligence agent who was sent to Kashmir on a special mission. It was set around the time 2016 when there was political unrest in the valley. The agent was given an impossible task, a crackdown on the terroristic activities to end and disrupt a multi-billion-dollar conflict economy, and then to set a stage for 370 to be considered inoperable, which would eventually happen in 2019. And I hope that I'm saying this right because I got most of this information from online. But I think that was probably the essence of what the movie is all about. We cannot wait to see the
I
movie.
think
Today gives us immense pleasure to introduce the star cast and the team of this great movie. But before I do that, before I introduce the cast and the team, I would like to congratulate Yami and Aditya on a very different note. Congratulations to you on the wonderful news of the journey towards parenthood. You will
Thank
make
you.
great
Thank you
parents.
so much.
You will
Thank
make
you.
amazing parents.
Thank
Now, let
you.
me introduce the cast of the movie. First of all, let me welcome Mr. Aditya Suhas Jhambhale. Aditya ji, welcome to the program.
So much.
Welcoming Yami Gautam, who is
Thank
sitting
you.
with her husband Aditya ji, and then Lokesh. Welcome, Lokesh.
Hello. Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We do have viewers from, like I said, all over the world, and they're watching us not only on this Zoom program, but also on Facebook Live at this time. Going back to Aditya, Aditya is a critically acclaimed director from Goa who has worked extensively in both Marathi and Hindi films. His debut film, Abha Ekte Na, I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
Almost, yeah. Abba ek
Almost
time.
Abhay Ekte Na, won a national award for Best Direction in 2016. And his second short film, Karvas, was selected by IFFI in 2018 and won him the second national award. His third film, Amritsar Junction, is currently, I guess, under either distribution or being distributed by the same platform of B62 Studios. This movie, Article 370, is Aditya's first Hindi feature film as a director. I hope I'm right. And so after that, we have our next guest, Yami Gautam, the star of the movie. Yami, as we all know, is a versatile actress known for her captivating performances in the Bollywood films. We have seen many of her films, Vicky Donor, Uri, which I personally is one of my all-time favorites. She's also acted in Bala and A Thursday and so many more. Her impeccable acting skills have garnered numerous acclaimed roles for her. She continues to captivate her audience through her talent and her beauty on the silver screen. And we'll soon be seeing her on Friday as Zuni Huxer. Welcome, Yami.
Thank
Now
you so
to
much,
the,
ma'am.
you are welcome. And now to the brothers, Aditya and Lokesh. So Aditya is again has produced and also directed movies. He has written this. He has in this movie. He has also written the screenplay and dialogues for this particular movie, right?
Yes.
Short,
Story and screenplay. Yeah.
short, yes. Aditya is a visionary Indian filmmaker celebrated for his directorial debut in the movie Uri, which he directed, and also he has a immense ability to craft compelling stories with with precision and depth. Apart from preparing for this movie, which is his debut as a producer, he's simultaneously also producing many other feature films and giving up opportunities to youngster and talented filmmakers under his and his brother's production house B62. Now, Lokesh Dhar. He's a producer and media entrepreneur who has worked on more than 100 movies, and he has, until recently, he was here in US, head of UTV North America and UK, and now he has moved to India, I guess, to help him, his brother and himself on in this new venture of producing movies under this banner. He fosters careers of young, talented filmmakers to tell compelling stories with high level of entertainment and drama. Welcome, Aditya and Lokesh. Before starting the program, I'm going to introduce our team and the moderators. I want to introduce Mr. Sanjay Kaul. Sanjay ji,
Namaste.
he is our communications co-director along with Indu Kaul, who is also present here. Please welcome Geeta Ganju, our cultural director, and our dynamic Siddhi Rana, KOA youth director. Hi, Siddhi. I'm going to
Hi,
give it to
Siddhi.
Sanjay to start the program. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm sure that we are going to have a wonderful next hour or so. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Archana ji, for such a wonderful introduction. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that was a wonderful summary, and I think we all learned a lot. कुछ तो जाना पहचाना था, but बहुत कुछ नया भी था. So thank you for that, Archana. This is our second ZoomDub session for 2024, and I'm your host Sanjay Kaul. You've met Geeta and Siddhi and everybody else. So just some housekeeping items first. This is going to be a little bit of a different session, and it's going to be interactive and exciting. I want to call it a fireside chat session for ZoomDub. So keeping with the winter season in New Jersey, so we will be informal and talk to each other. And I can promise you, we will not talk about politics. It'll be all about the movie and about our Lokesh and Aditya and Yami, their journey, their lives, and so on. So, getting started, the first question is for the director of the movie, Aditya Suhas Jhambhale. I believe this is your first premier directorial venture, we can say. We talked about some of the short movies and all. So the question for you, Aditya, is, as a non-Kashmiri, how did you approach the topic of Article 370? We want to hear your perspective. There are a lot of Kashmiris on this forum, right? So we want to hear your perspective. How did you approach this topic? It's a very heavy topic, very serious topic. Please tell us about it.
First of all, thank you so much for having me on this program. I think I come from state of Goa. So yes, I am not from Kashmir, which also makes me little bit, I mean, I represent an Indian when it comes to the perceptions about Kashmir. What an Indian has, apart from a Kashmiri, a non-Kashmiri Indian, what he knows about Kashmir. And what I always thought before approaching this was, when I look at any layman Indian citizen, Kashmir was always something that he knew things on surface, but not in depth. Maybe about the socio-political, cultural fabric that Kashmir has, about its history, everything. But being always interested in politics and these subjects right from my school days, I was kind of pretty much like had a little connection, had a little knowledge about Article 370 and its importance, and why it was it was important that it had to be removed. So when this film came into the picture and we knew that, okay, we are going to do this film, I think I had two responsibilities, and I was kind of telling myself about these two responsibilities. One was to make every Indian understand why it is important. So I just wanted to know that what is that I have to show it, or how do I make a film that once I show it, I can ignite a kind of an awareness amongst all the Indians about Kashmir, remove all the misconceptions, which I believe are very crucial to be removed. And at the same time, when it comes to the youth of this country, kind of make them more hungry for more knowledge about Kashmir, and how do I make them go to Google and find out more. So apart from what I show in the film, and just one apart from this, I'll just share one incident when it comes to this particular question. So Kashmiri Pandits, or in general Kashmiris, are there all across the world. Like, I come from the state of Goa, and I have met a lot of Kashmiri Pandits there also, and even Kashmiris. They have settled in Goa. They have been part of the demographics in Goa as well. So when I was doing another film just before this is my first release. This is the first film that is getting released. But before this, I've also worked with Aditya on another film called Baramulla, which was also based in Kashmir, of course.
Yes.
So I happened to meet his uncle, who is settled in Goa, and just to understand what is Kashmir, what is Baramulla, what happened, what was the history firsthand. And one thing in the middle of the conversation he did was very crucial for me to understand what is the gravity of the subject. So he was telling me what is the history of Kashmir, what happened in 90s, and overall what is the feeling of Kashmir when it comes to it. And he suddenly called his grandson. He was just coming down and said, I just want to show you something. He called his grandson. He asked, do you know anything about Kashmir, in front of me as a non-Kashmiri. And that grandson said, I don't know much about it. And that is the time when he looked at me and he said, if you are becoming a filmmaker and you are choosing Kashmir as a topic, make us feel that it is home. Make us feel that you are a voice, that in spite of the fact that you're not a Kashmiri, you know it from the gravity, what we stand for and what we think about it. So I think that set the tone for me as a filmmaker to do a film on a Kashmir topic without being a Kashmiri. So I think that is my perspective.
Fascinating. Actually, my second question that I had, you already answered that. I wanted to ask you what you wanted people to take away from the movie. So I think your answer pretty much explained that. So really, it's so true. As an objective kind of a filmmaker, you wanted to tell the story in its truest form, and tell people, not just people from Kashmir, but everybody, what really happened. तो मैं थोड़ा चेंज एक और सवाल था, मैं आपसे वो पूछता हूँ कि based on your when you were making this movie, partly some of the movie was shot in Kashmir. Um, do you think things have changed? In your opinion, of course, there's a lot of opinions about this. After the abrogation of Article 370, how was your experience considering, this was done maybe 2019, so 4 years after that? Any thoughts on that, Aditya?
Yeah, I think 100%. I think I have been in Kashmir post this decision for the longest time, because I was there for recce's, I was there for the shoot, which is the longest schedule that I was in. And I mean, I can see a lot of change. I mean, we shot, even particularly with this film, it was the longest schedule that we had to shoot, and we shot in some of the most sensitive areas.
Wow.
It was no problems. Like, we had a scene in which Yami was there, and it was an outdoor and indoor shoot in downtown, in the
Wow.
epicenter of downtown. But the support that we got overall from CRPF, from the JK police, and also the local Kashmiris, was amazing. To
Amazing.
see how the tourism is. I mean, there are traffic jams right now happening in Kashmir because of the tourism.
Wonderful.
And so that, I think, reflects a lot, that about the development, about the entire change, about how the perception of people has changed because of the development. So that is
Thanks.
definitely,
So,
it can be seen on the face of it.
Thank you.
so
Thank you.
our director requested us that he wants to shoot in downtown, especially in Fateh Kadal,
Wow.
and and in one of the gullies in Fateh Kadal, and we had to make it happen. And I seriously feel that it was one of the most incredible experience, because we were in that area where Safa Kadal and Fateh Kadal and all these areas where
Yeah.
we were there when we were kids, and
Yeah.
and the way everybody supported us, it was incredible.
Wonderful.
We were there almost for 40-45 days in Kashmir, and
Lovely.
not even a single incident, like not even a single like minor incident जिसे कहते हैं वो भी नहीं हुआ. So and overall, like what we also did was we connected a lot with the locals over there, and we tried to understand that what is, and unanimously, like everybody said that change to hua.
And
2019.
For Aditya Jhambhale, Aditya Dhar's language skills were of help or no help?
Of
By
course
now,
it does
Jhambhale
help.
actually.
I tried to learn Kashmiri, but I realized that it is so difficult.
See, it's not difficult. It's not that difficult. But anyway, that's a different discussion.
Yeah.
So thanks for that, Aditya. So we are coming to Aditya Dhar now for the second question, for the first question, actually. So Aditya, we tried to Google you a lot and, did some research, and we all wanted to, and we found about Uri, a wonderful movie and a great success, and a lot of awards, Filmfare awards and all that. But what I want to know about you is about your journey. Did you do National School of Drama or Film and TV Institute or any short films? How did this journey from I shouldn't say traditional, from a Kashmiri family to a movie maker?
So actually, a lot of credit goes to our mom. Our mom retired as the dean of Delhi University Faculty of Music and Fine Arts.
Okay.
So and she was basically, in fact, like Rekha Bhardwaj, Jasmine Benedilla, all of them are my mom's students.
Wow.
So there was थोड़ा सा family में music, theatre को लेके थोड़ा सा already interest था. And I was being a Kashmiri, it's literally, I don't know if it's the right thing to say, but I was severely dyslexic. So मेरे को रोज चोप पड़ते थे. So I think because I was dyslexic and my interest was a lot in theatre, it was always there, and quite commendable, because my parents never stopped me. Both my parents, mom and dad, they were like very encouraging. So I got into theatre at a very young age, and I started
Nice.
doing professional theatre. But every time I used to do a play or every time I used to act in a play, I always, even as a kid, I always used to get fascinated by what director is doing. Because as a kid, when you are an actor, it's very easy. What you're like, somebody is giving you instruction, you're repeating that.
Yeah.
But when you're watching a director manage everyone, I thought, यार ये job करनी है, ये वाला काम सीखना है, ये कैसे करते हैं?
So sorry to interrupt, any association with Barry John and all that in Delhi?
So Barry John, I have taken classes for him. In my batch, there was Richa Chadda and Jacqueline Fernandez.
Okay.
I did a workshop with him. But I was in a different theatre group. It's called Delhi Music Theatre.
Okay.
For the longest time, and we had like a lot of students from there are actually part of Indian film industry right now. Manish Sharma, the director of Band Baja Barat, was my senior in that group. Okay. So there were a lot of talent came out of that theatre group. So somewhere, yeah, please.
So definitely, drama theatre has a. So I was sort of guessing that, but please continue. Sorry, yeah.
So I didn't have any formal training. I started directly from film industry because I was so obsessed, and also because we didn't come from that strata where we could spend a lot of money at that point. So for me, the best way was to learn it from ground up.
Sure.
And it was a crazy journey. It was a really, really crazy journey because I was supposed to direct my first film in 2009. It didn't happen for various reasons. And then my first film was supposed to happen in 2011, then 2013, then 2014, then 2016, and all different films. And for some various reasons, it was getting stuck. And finally, I directed my first film in 2019. So it took me 10 years of trying to direct and almost 15 years of being in this industry to actually land with a film like Uri. And when I look back, I always say that I think God had a massive plan for me. That's why He made me wait for so long. And and I always say this, and I genuinely believe in this. A film with a success like Uri doesn't happen because you're talented. It happens because there are generations and there are number of people behind you who have given you so many blessings that वो talent से आप उतना नहीं कमा सकते हो जितना आप वो blessing से आप उधर तक पहुंच पाते हो. So I think it's the generations, our forefathers who have blessed, like they must have blessed that our vanch, everybody who comes in our vanch should be prosperous and do something really. And I think finally it came to us, like we were able to use all those blessings and it was really, really beautiful.
What a profound thought and so true. I mean, Sudha Narayan Murthy, his wife.
Of course.
She keeps talking about this hard work and God and anugrah, as Kashmiris call it, right?
Yeah.
So there has to be some third energy or whatever you want to call it, and you have summarized it so well. So thank you. How did the transition happen to being a producer? I mean, director. I mean, now you're mostly a producer, right? If I understand it correctly.
Yeah. So, like I said, the various reasons for me for not being able to direct from 2009 to 2019 were also because I was really a purist. So I didn't believe in like hanging out with film actors or being in filmy parties or doing a lot of PR. I believe that if I'm talented, that I'll get my due someday or the other. But that actually kind of delayed my debut. And that is something where I realized that people who are talented should not be dependent on those things. So I needed to build, we decided, Lokesh and I decided we needed to build a production house where people who are talented, doesn't matter which strata they are coming from, doesn't matter what background they're coming from. Right. If they are talented, they have to get the opportunity. It doesn't matter.
Wonderful.
Because I have faced that. Personally. So I remember when I first time met Jhambhale during National Awards, and he mentioned that I asked him that why don't you go to Bombay and assist? And he said I did go to Bombay, and I tried to assist, but it was not easy because nobody was like giving me opportunities.
Sure.
And here is a guy who has won 2 national awards, and people are still not giving him opportunities because he doesn't come from किसी का चाचा भतीजा नहीं है, किसी से related नहीं है. He's complete outsider.
Yeah.
And that really reminded me of myself like 10 years back, what I was going through. And I said,
Totally.
don't worry, we'll figure out something. And what figure out? Matlab, it's taken 5 years for me to make one film. He has already made 2 films in 1 year.
No,
And
it's
he's
awesome.
hitting out of the park.
It's awesome. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. Really, it's so true. And I think we all want to talk to the pivotal and the lead role lady of the movie who's sitting next to you. And Geeta is nudging me in the virtual world that she has to ask her question. So I have to, so don't give so much time to Aditya Dhar. I think we have to give that. So over to you, Geeta, and take it away.
Thank you, Sanjay ji. Hello, Yami. Thank
Hi,
you for
Geeta
joining.
ji.
Thank you.
Absolutely my pleasure.
Yeah. Before I dive into my questions, right, I want to express my admiration to you. Gracefully you flaunt your de jure. I love that.
How sweet.
And most of the pictures after the marriage, like with your traditional, look, you carry the traditional Kashmiri bahu very beautifully. So I just wanted to say
that. That is so
in
sweet.
Kashmiri
Thank
they
you
call it
so
as
much.
batni. I don't know.
Batni.
Yeah,
And his Koshmekur.
and it is someone like me, like I'm from Bangalore, married to a Kashmiri family. Seeing this traditional, it really always puts a smile on my face.
That is so sweet.
So
Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Now I will move on to my first question. So my question is regarding your roles, right? I started watching your programs from 2009, Ye Pyar Na Hoga Kam as a Leher. And I mother-in-law used to be both used to love ye ladki bahut sundar hai. My mother-in-law used to say ladki bahut sundar hai. So
because I used to buy my own makeup. So
you're really very, very beautiful, like, very naive used to. And now also after that, I've seen different role. That is a different role and compared to then when I saw you in Vicky Donor as Shima Roy. That is it's something like very challenging to pick up such type of movies in that era and looking. That is very impressive too for me. And like that other couple more movies, what I saw is like your role in Kabul as a blind girl acting with Hrithik Roshan. That was also like, and also the recent movie 2023 movie Thursday. All these are like you consistently play a unique and unconventional characters. What drives you to select such a distinctive and atke roles? Like what makes that?
So sweet. I love the way you said atke. That's so sweet. I think you're being very, very generous, Geetaji, with your words and your perspective. Thank you so much. And this is it. Actually, my answer lies in your question, and that's the whole idea, to keep reinventing myself and to keep doing something different every time, for myself as an actor and for my audience. That's the only thing I know. It's only my work that'll get me more work and more opportunities, and it has to be better every time. It has to be. I'm not saying, I don't know about bigger. I don't know those things. It's only the audience makes it bigger and bigger every time. But making it better and better is something which is in my hands, and I've always tried to do that right with my first film. And the whole idea is to be open to different stories, to be different to different subjects, not get stuck in any kind of bracket or in any kind of, which happens with all of us. I've also gone through that stage where, acha, let me look only for this kind of role because you're advised only certain kind of films work, or only if you do certain films with certain songs will work, it has to be big and this and that. So I just had to listen to my inner voice, and my first instinct has never ditched me about a script. So I try to be true to that, and I try to see my films and scripts as an actor and as an audience at the same time. that does it have the potential to be liked and to be accepted by the audience or not, even though even OMG2 or all these concepts have been very bold and very new. And of course, I don't think an Article 370 is a completely different film in this whole line of thought. So I have never shied away from taking, and I think these films, especially doing well at the box office, gives me even more encouragement that okay, there's something that we are doing right as a team. There's something right. Audience is ready. Audience is always ready to give you all the love and to watch your films, provided you've been true to your craft and your creative process. So I think I've answered 2-3 of your questions.
That's true.
She's
Genuine
actually
answer,
very.
That's true. Yeah.
Aditya wants to say something.
She's actually very intuitive when it comes to scripts. She's very smart. So the good thing about her is she doesn't look at the script ki yaar mera role kaisa hai. She always looks at the script that is it going to connect with the audience. And that is something which I've always noticed. Even when I write a script, I share it with her, and her feedback is excellent. Like the way she will, and she's very thorough. Like she'll have 1,000 points written on her script. Like she will write each and every detail. She will write exactly if that line is there, what she was feeling 3 scenes before, because of which she's saying this line in this scene. So she's very thorough with that. So I feel that she has kind of cracked that whole like system of how to choose a script really, really well.
Wow.
Nice.
Very nice. That's very.
And choose a husband. Good husband.
No. So you have 2 ladies supporting you. One is your mom, who got you all the introduction to and then Yami. So it's so yeah.
Blessed.
He's blessed.
Yeah. So thank you, Yami. Thank you, Aditya ji. So it was very nice, like very true answer I got, what I had in my mind. That's what I expected too. Thank you. So before we move on, we would like to play the trailer of the movie. Neetu, can we play the trailer of the movie for our audience? Wow. What a power-packed performance, Yami. Very impressive trailer.
A lot of joke.
Just a request to my husband in front of everyone, and he'll keep my tickets ready for tomorrow, first day fashion.
Yay, thank you.
In Pennsylvania, I'm from Pennsylvania in US. Lot of theaters I'm seeing that a lot of theaters are releasing this movie, so we are so lucky. And then thank you. So many emotions in just 2 minutes. Can't wait to watch the movie. Thank you. So Yami, my second question, as the main lead in Article 370, could you share insight into your characters and elaborate on the preparation process for portraying such a role? Like, it seems to be very complex and very serious role for me. So can you just explain what is the preparation process you went for this?
I play Zuni Haksar in the film. Zuni, I'm sure you all know, it means moonlight. And I don't know why I felt like saying this. I just find the name really beautiful. She's a Kashmiri girl, and who's been raised there. And just to give a little, very, very brief background on her story. So she's someone who's seen, of course, things firsthand, the repercussions of what happens there, or things that we have been watching as non-Kashmiris on news, maybe since kids or since we were growing up. She's one of those who've experienced it, and somehow the consequences of the situation there has affected her personal life. And she's one of those girls who've grown up, perhaps maybe bases her experience, it's toughened her. It's made her this person who's really determined, and one of those really passionate officers to bring peace in the valley, and to do whatever she can in her might, and like-minded people around her, so they can restore peace and order in the family, in the valley. So but of course things are not as simple or as as they say in real life. And of course, the whole journey, how it's connected with Article 370 and how the whole operation, how the sync between the bureaucracy and defense and intelligence. I think this is overall that's what the film is about. And just to give a little gist on her character, yes, I think it's the most. I have played intense roles before, but there are different derivatives and different variations of how intense one can be. And I think this has been the most intense. I've never seen my eye color change with a scene, which I just realized watching the trailer. I think that was that intensity was, I think, something else. I can just be thankful for this opportunity to Aditya Suhas and Lokesh Bhaiya for especially my producers for not making this into a and I really mean it, into a male character, because this character is based on someone in real life. So there is a female intelligence officer who was a part of this operation. Of course, we will not get into identities, but just to have it in the back of my mind always while prepping or while being on set, that I'm representing somebody really important, I'm representing something really important. So my personal feelings or my personal pains or challenges or all these things are way smaller than what I'm doing on set. So I have to always remember that. And I'm glad in today's time where everybody, of course, it's business at the end of the day. You want your films to do well, you want your producers to recover their money, make money, and the film should do well for everyone. And one of the easiest things is because it's something which has been there, the structure, the math, to make it into a male character, to make it more saleable. But they didn't do that, and they went for, and not just for my casting, even Priya Mani, I think, has done a fantastic job in the film. They focused on the right casting versus for the film versus the economics part of it. So for that was, I'm very thankful to Lokesh Bhaiya and Aditya for that. And of course, there were challenges. I mean, the moment I finished reading the script, I'm like, great, this film has to come alive on screen. People have to watch this film, especially in today's times, and especially the youth, I think, of today. It's very important to connect them with the reality versus there's so much that's happening out there on social media and the virtual world and so much. But as an actor, I knew this is something which I've obviously never done before. I don't think and every time so I just have to let go all my reservations and all the will I be able to not, can I not, all those things aside, and make and just have fun in the whole process. I don't think you get an opportunity to learn the kind of skills that we got to learn every day, right from how to hold a weapon. Forget firing, that will come later. First, show me how you hold a weapon. And we all used to be part of this training, and they used to pinpoint, this is this film, this is that film, this is that film. How filmy are you guys? I'm like, because we've grown up watching those films.
I think Aditya wants to say
we
something.
had military. Sorry.
I think Aditya was trying to say something. I thought, yeah.
No, I was just saying that it was one of the most intense training. It lasted for almost 2.5 months before the shoot started.
Wow.
And
It shows.
4 to 5 hours of gun training, almost 2 hours of hand-to-hand combat.
Wow.
And the funny bit is, like, there is not a lot of hand-to-hand combat in the film, but she wanted to do it to get the posture right.
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
And we had Colonel Keshwendra and Bhushan sir from NSG who were training us, and one of the most incredible instructors. But the way they trained Yami, their concept was very simple. That once you get trained, you should be trained for life. You should not be trained for this particular film. You should know how to hold a gun for the rest of your life.
Wonderful.
And we had an opportunity to they took us to NSG Center in Andheri in Bombay, and they gave us the opportunity to fire live guns. And out of all of us, Yami was the one who just was hitting bullseye after bullseye. And they were like, yaar, aap itne soft se, itni sharif si ladki. And she was like, it doesn't matter, aap sharif ho, it's just that you need to be focused. And her focus was exceptional.
Nice, that's so sweet. But it's the training. It's actually our supervisors that I'm very thankful to, because the detail and the depth to which they were teaching us is something. It's lifelong. You don't forget that easily. Like like you should be so trained that even in your sleep you should be able to hit a target. And poor my family members and all, whenever they'd see me, I'd be just pointing. I had a toy gun in my hand, and I said, please get a colorful one before they think I have something with me. So they know it's a toy, and just pointing, kahan pe shoot karu? Acha, wahan pe, us lamp pe. So I don't know, every time whenever I would get tired, I would just pick up and because that's the way to go about it. You have to make it a part of you, and not like an object, not like an alien object in your hand which you're not familiar with. So it's all. And Aditya's anyway someone who's we believe in homework. We believe that the more time you spend prepping for a role, the lesser time you waste on shoot. So you're absolutely prepped now, whether they give you angle A, B, C, D, I'm prepared, and we are ready for everything. So that's just a small bit that went into
dedication. We can see that in 2 minutes. We can see so much. In whole movie, definitely we'll get a lot more to see. So thank you. So now, thank you. That is really a wonderful moment. I spent for a few minutes with you, Yami. And we have to speak to the producers too right now. So we have very less time. Over to you, Archana ji. Thank you and good luck for both of you.
Thank you, Geeta. Thank you, Geeta ji. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Yami. Amazing. I mean, obviously we have not seen the movie, but I can imagine the preparation and the dedication with which all of you. I have to congratulate the director, Aditya ji. This movie had to be made in a very sensitive manner because the topic itself is very sensitive. So you have to make sure that you get your facts correct and present and portray them in such a way that the audience just enjoys the movie. And that's the takeaway here, that it's at the end of the day, it is a movie. Of course, it is something that people will look forward to because you're saying that people will be fact checking this and that, but amazingly a well done movie. So great job, guys. Wonderful. So I'm going to be turning to Lokesh here. So while our team was like kind of looking through the team and stuff like that, we tried to research you a lot on social media, but there's nothing new. So we'd like to know more about who you are and who is Lokesh Dhar. But before you say that, I just want to introduce you a little bit. That you have obviously been associated and involved in the media, movies, head of UTV North America, UK, and now you've paired up with your brother, and now you're collaborating with Geo Reliance. Growing up, would you just give us a little bit of a glimpse of your childhood, you and your brother? Where did you grow up? Do you remember anything about Kashmir? And how was your childhood? And do you remember anything about our exodus? How did it impact you?
Yeah, so thank you for having us and asking this question. It's an important question because it kind of culminates with what we are doing right now.
Right.
So yeah, one thing is I'm not on social media for intentional reasons.
Sure.
I think it improves my quality of life. So that's the reason. But yeah, coming back to our background and where we grew up. So we both, Aditya and I, we were born in Delhi, but our parents and all our family members were in Kashmir. So my mom, was born in Ranawari and grew up there, and my dad was born in a village called Palhalan and grew up there and in Baramulla and Srinagar, in those areas. So we were deeply connected with Kashmir. Our grandparents, everybody was from Kashmir. We were the only one who were in Delhi. But what happened was that every year we would spend maybe 2 to 3 months in Kashmir. So it was the summer, sometimes it was in October, sometimes it was in December. So our connection with Kashmir is, it's like if I have to say, where am I from? I'm from Kashmir because that's where our best memories are. That's where all our family was. That's where we spent all our summers. So, and they would come to Delhi, a lot of our relatives. So we were deeply connected in that way. Our identity was that. In fact, we felt a little misfit when we were growing in Delhi, with our food and with our everything, and everybody else was a non-Kashmiri around us. So, and watching the exodus in 89, 90, it had a profound impact on our lives because we saw our family members, what happened to them. We saw our community, what happened to them. And of course, I mean, we don't need to repeat that. It is extremely emotional and heartbreaking for all of us. So, yeah, for us, Kashmir was extremely, um, it's an emotional subject for us in that sense. As far as our uh, raising and growing up years in Delhi are concerned, we were always movie fanatics. Our parents were always take us to movies every Sunday, Saturday, to a movie theater nearby. We had a theater named Sapna and a theater named Alankar nearby. It was walking distance from where we used to live. And that's where our passion for film started at a very young age. And both of us were very much interested in films. In fact, we would play out different characters, we would beat each other. So, those are the things you do as kids. And it just so happened that, we've taken our own journeys in this film industry. And now we are trying to break in where there are hardly any chances for outsiders. And as Aditya explained, he's also gone through his own challenges. And one thing that we want to do is give opportunities to people who are coming from outside. And I also want to add one thing to what we are doing right now, which is in relation to Article 370 also. Yami mentioned about the fact that, how we have taken an unconventional route of casting two leading women. So what we try to do as well is we are trying to do something different when it comes to various aspects of filmmaking and make it look exciting and break the mold. If we go to a studio or a financing partner and say we have Yami as an action hero, we have Priyamani as as another leading lady, and this is a film about Kashmir, the first reaction would be, "Ye nahi chalega." you know so one is our responsibility to break the mold, to convince our partners, and then to make compelling films which are exciting and entertaining for people, so that this notion that ye nahi chalega, ye nahi chalta, we need to change that. And I think with Article 370, I hope we do that on every aspect of filmmaking and in all our films. Aditya Jhambhale, who is here, he's made a film called Baramulla. We want to showcase many new things with that film as well. So,
Great.
So like
yeah.
Lokesh is saying, we experienced that during Uri also, because Lokesh was the distributor also on the film, and when we started with the announcement of Uri, a lot of people went up to Ronnie, who was my producer at that time, and told him that you're making a big mistake. You're taking a Vicky Kaushal for a lead who doesn't like who has not done any commercial film as a lead, and he's always doing like arty films and everything. But that whole fact that when you come from outside, there are no boundaries. You always want to prove people wrong. You always that is the best challenge. And we took up that challenge, and hats off to Ronnie, and this time hats off to Gio that they agreed to it. they agreed to that vision that okay, what they are saying makes a lot of sense. Let's give them a chance. And for some reason, of course, like in Uri, it landed brilliantly. And I have a very strong feeling that it's going to land with 370
370 as
also.
well.
Really,
Yeah.
yeah, really, really well.
Like you said, that the blessings, you have
Absolutely.
generations of blessings of people who
Absolutely.
have gone through 7 exoduses. You have blessings of those people on you. So on this, you know, the fact that, I mean, I'm seeing this young team come together and, you know, create amazing, powerful, you know, on-screen movies and stuff. Would you tell us a little bit more about your upcoming movies in the next year, 2 years, so that we can look out for them? And, you know, so that's another. And I have another question for you, Lokesh, after anyone who cares to answer
Yeah,
about you.
yeah. So I can brief you on a couple of films which we have already finished and will be releasing soon. One is called Dhoomdham, which is an action comedy. Again, we are trying to break certain molds of filmmaking there, where we're, combining action comedy in a very modern and Western storytelling manner, but catered to a very Indian culture and audience. So, Dhoomdham is a film which is directed by Rishabh Seth. Yami is the leading lady in that, and you will see her in a very different avatar. And there is the actor for that film is Pratik Gandhi. He was the lead in Scam. And Aditya Dhar, my brother, he had written this story long time ago, around 2015-16, and it was supposed to be one of his first films, of his many first films which didn't happen. So that was a film that he actually wrote, and he was about to go into shoot. It was Karan Johar was producing that film, and Aditya was directing it. And it had at that time it had Fawad Khan and Katrina Kaif as the leading actors. And while the pre-production was going on, there was the Uri attack, which happened in Kashmir. And the Indian government banned Pakistani actors to act in India.
Yes.
And the movie was shelved at that time.
Wow.
And of course, Aditya took the challenge and felt that while people are remorsing about why this movie has not happened and go down in pain and suffering, he thought, let me make a movie about this thing, which is the Uri attack.
Wow.
And, kudos to him to turn around at such a disappointing time and use it as a force for himself. So that's one film we are releasing. We have already produced that, and it'll be releasing soon. The other film that we have is called Baramulla, which is set in Kashmir, which Aditya Jhambhale, who is here with us, it's actually his first film, feature film that he directed. It has Manav Kaul as the leading actor and Bhasha Sumbli as the leading
Oh, wow.
actress.
Wow.
And
Great
that
cast.
again is a
And they have done a fantastic job. They have done a phenomenal job, both of them.
You know, obviously we
So,
watched
in
Bhasha
fact,
Sumbli and
Bhasha was
Kashmir Files here.
in fact Bhasha was there yesterday for the premiere.
Oh, was she?
And and they've done a phenomenal job. It's again a film which we feel that will make all of us very proud in how it has been treated. I think Aditya Jhambhale, as a real debutant feature filmmaker for that film, has done a phenomenal job.
Awesome.
And it's a genre which I don't think we have explored in India. I'm not going to talk too much about this film because you will see the teaser of this film along with Article 370 when you go to theaters. So, and we are super excited about that film. These are 3 films which we've already shot and finished. And besides that, Aditya is starting his next film very soon. And that is in the media, the title name is already there. It's called Dhurandhar. And
This is it.
yeah,
Yes.
Aditya Dhar. Yeah. It's high time for him to start directing movies now. So and we are all gearing up for that. And and then we have other projects going on. We have a TV series. We have other films going on. The one thing that we want to do as producers also, we want to tell diverse stories. We want our directors and creators to be challenged in different directions. Aditya Jhambhale has just, you'll see Article 370, Baramulla is a very different film. Then the next film that he's going to do is a very different film. Aditya Dhar, all his films that he's writing and attempting, very different films. So that's one of the mantra of how we want to, keep ourselves creatively also motivated and engaged.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Our youth director has been waiting for a long time, Siddhi Rana, and she has a question for Yami. So, Siddhi, are you excellent? She's very passionate, and she really runs our KOA youth program very efficiently. We all are, what can I say? We give her our credits to her. She really is doing a great job. But she does want to have ask you a question, Yami. So, Siddhi, here you go.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Archana ji and Lokesh ji. Thank you all for being here today. It's a pleasure to speak to all of you. Yami, you are so gorgeous. I cannot stop smiling, staring at you. Aditya, you have brought a very beautiful nosh into the family. So
I
but
lucked out completely.
you definitely did. I did want to say, fun fact, my Matamal side is Dhar. So I feel like I get the Josh from, bringing culture and the Kashmiri culture. Probably it's like a Dhar lineage thing. But I did want to mention, I feel like you guys have said so much that I had in my intro, making sure that the youth is aware of what's happening, not just politically, but just socially, being present on social media. And one of my role as a youth director is keeping our Instagram active, which is KOA Youth, because in this day and age, our most valuable asset is social media. And so for the future generation and for folks who are active on social media these days, I feel like our platform serves as like an archive for them to go back and not just learn about the history, but also the beauty of Kashmir. And so Yami, I really wanted to ask you, like with your involvement in URI, Article 370, and being the wife of a Kashmiri Pandit family or the Nosh of a Kashmiri Pandit family, like delving into the Kashmiri's rich culture and history, do you think you've had a chance to learn more about the culture? Has Aditya taught you things? Has playing a Kashmiri character taught you things? Like anything you found fascinating so far?
Absolutely. I think this is something which we all grew up learning, I think, pretty much naturally, that how beautiful Kashmir is. And, it's beautiful land, it's paradise, and all these synonyms and all these titles have always been reserved for Kashmir. And so there's always this curiosity that as a kid, especially when you're growing up and you start understanding the geography of things, that this is a place that we'd love to visit. I'm from Himachal. I was born there. I've been raised in Chandigarh. Being an avid nature lover is something any which way it comes is home for me. And but never obviously understood beyond a certain surface level that why is it that we cannot visit easily. Why is it such a risk, or why we can't go, when it's a part of my own country. I mean, these are the teething questions that, of course, that are only just in your mind. And I don't think, that's something which we didn't, I think, that's not something which I read too much about it, to be very honest, in my textbooks. I think
there was nothing.
Yeah, because there was nothing. We had no idea. So there were basically no answers or no questions further, because you were like, okay, we just knew what was there on the news, that there are some terrorists, there's some violence, it's disturbing, and there's unrest, and it's not safe to go. So that's the only side, and that's the only narrative, and that's our truth of what we knew as the information which is in public domain. The only thing I remember reading, the only piece of information I remember reading in high school in my sociology textbook was, I still remember it was just a paragraph on 5-6 lines on what is ethnic cleansing. That's it. We beyond this had no idea. I had not heard about Article 370. I had not heard about
Wow.
what the roots and where it comes from. Of course, we knew only the beauty side of it, the clothes and how beautiful people are, gorgeous women are, the water, the scenery. But inside, what dwells, I think, was so much more. It's still that it's painful. So of course, when we became friends, and I met his family, I met his relatives. The kind of stories that I got to hear firsthand, I would, in my head, in my heart, I would constantly keep thinking, please do not complete the story. I don't want to hear the end. I don't want to, because it was a lot. It was a lot, especially I could see in their eyes, the entire scene being replayed, or whatever their experiences they're coming from, and the pain and everything. And all of them doing really well in their life, highly educated, settled well, like all of you, and doing well. So you cannot tell what's actually there in someone's heart
Sure.
just by the look of it. And so that was really painful. That is something, when as a non-Kashmiri, something like it started becoming very personal. It started becoming very, as a human, it is. And you start feeling that, how is it possible that we didn't know? How is it possible that we were, we had no idea that something so massive had happened at that
Sure.
scale or at that level, and we never knew about it. And I remember there was this boy in my class. I still remember his name. Of course, I'm not going to take his name. Wonderful boy, a Kashmiri boy. And I feel very sad because he never spoke. We were classmates for about 7 years, and he never spoke a word. He was such an introvert, and we just didn't know how to talk to him. We didn't know what was wrong. So when I'm just trying to connect the dots, and we never heard his voice. Very sweet boy, but he would just not talk to anyone. He would just have his head down and just keep, I don't know, drawing something, scribbling something, just in his own world. And one of the things which, of course, that happened was also depression. Was also to adjust from where you were, suddenly you were brought into
So
a
true.
city, and all the things that, of course, we now we are aware, and we've read about it. So when I instantly went back to that classmate of mine, that, my God, I wish we had it in us, or somebody senior, or somebody else. I'm sure they would have tried, but because nobody had an idea that this could be something which could be so personal, and connected with something which I wish we knew more about. Maybe we could help him. So so when this so it's painful. It's of course, it's something which you feel in the first place, why did it happen? We wish it didn't happen, but I think ऐसा कहते हैं कि खुशियां बांटने से, एक फिल्म में डायलॉग था, बढ़ जाती है और दुख बांटने से कम हो जाता है. So I think the fact that they could never express themselves, Kashmiris, and could never, it's not about telling the world to see what happened. No, it's not that. It's just about someone there to listen to you, and for you to be able to express, that pain. So now that this is something which we talk about, the films being made, and now a film like a 370, where you bring the technicalities and the chronologically what had happened, and how is it connected to something which is 70 years old and affects us till date. We thought that this film is really important, and in a cinematic way, a very humble ode to, of course, the forces, the bureaucracy, but also the people, obviously the people of Kashmir and Kashmiri Pandits. So I think, of course, time moves on. Time, that's the beauty of time, and we try and hold hands and heal each other. That's the whole idea, and progress in life and move ahead.
So,
And but at the same time, always give homage and respect and tribute to our roots, and make sure that they're always respected, and we always have the blessings, as Aditya said, of our previous generations. The first place we went when we started shooting in Kashmir was Kheer Bhavani Temple, and he's taken me around. And this is where Lokesh and I, we used to swim. This is where the darshan was. This is where we used to sleep under that tree. And I was just listening. I could see the entire his childhood being played in front of his eyes, and there's nothing more special for anyone, no matter how much you've achieved in life, no matter where you've reached in life, but your childhood and remains, I think, and then your own motherland, your own land becomes, I think, a very, very integral part of anybody's life.
sure.
Yami,
So
you have
yeah.
touched a very raw nerve here. We did not want to make this program
Yeah.
about Kashmir,
Okay,
but
You know, also, Yami, you also spoke my मेरे दिल की बात कह दी. When I was in college, 30% of our Kashmiris in engineering college, and none of them, like my husband was also studying in the same college, none of them spoke about this. And that time when I went to Jammu and I was surprised to see how these people survived this. It's
so
really.
there is a phenomenon what we call in like medicine. We internalize pain, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
We internalized
Yes.
this entire traumatic experience, and we did not want to share that with our children because it was beyond traumatic. It was too painful. And what happens is that when people from outside of our community showcase anything about us, whether it is the way we left or what happened, it just lessens that burden just a little bit.
Yeah.
This burden will be carried by us for a long time.
Yeah.
And we will never be rid of that. It is the same thing that Jewish people carried after their experiences. So Kashmiri Pandits will never be rid of that pain. But yes, it gets less and less and less as people talk about it, as people acknowledge us, acknowledge what happened. It's
True.
very
True.
important to
True.
acknowledge these things. And
Absolutely.
then
True,
people
true.
try to move on. So
Hats off to the parents, especially who took all the pain and made their kids to be successful today. That they never
Absolutely.
they did not sit and cry, ye nahi hua, wo nahi hua, but they forgot the whole thing. They moved like dil se mere liye Amisha, like dil se mein respect karti hu. I literally can't. There is no words to express.
one
Sure.
of the litmus tests of Kashmiri Bahu is for Yami. It's just a sentence. Ms. Shamara taga damolu banawe? Kolke chihe rakho.
I
You
like to
understood.
believe yes.
Yes to
So what I said in Kashmiri
now.
that one of the litmus tests for Kashmiri Bahu is making damalus on Shivratri. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
we're going to do that.
And Aditya, whatever damalu you get in a restaurant in Delhi, that is not a damalu.
No, definitely that's not a damalu.
Not authentic damalu.
I actually want to tell you something which we haven't told anyone publicly. Nobody knows about this. I don't think we have even addressed that in any of the press conference or any of the press meets.
Your voice is not audible, Aditya.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, now it's good.
So when we got married, her father actually went back to there is a place called Jaisinghpur from where her father belongs, and he went to meet his elders to take the blessings after the marriage, and he basically asked to one of the elders, like, what is our background? Because when we go to Haridwar for like Pindadan or anything, we can only see 6 generations. Beyond that, we are not able to see. And according to their grand uncle, they were Kashmiris, and their Zaat was Misri.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Okay then.
So they're basically the 6th generation before they basically might have migrated. 6th
Wow.
generation before they might have migrated.
Fascinating.
to Himachal, and in Himachal they basically became the temple priest for the king of Himachal, and that's why she is basically like her mom and her dad are actually from the family of Nana Devi and Jwalaji, like the
Oh,
temple
really?
priest of Nana Devi. They are
Okay.
so every time we go there, it feel like whenever we it's so funny. We go with her mom to Jwalaji, and it feels like we are going with a don with Godfather, because every pandit will leave their place and they'll be like Shashtan Pranam, doing Shashtan Pranam to her mother, and everything. I was
Wow.
like, "Ye ho kya raha hai?" And they're older than her. They're much older pandits, and they're
Wow.
coming down and doing Shashtan Pranam to her mother, and I'm like,
Nice.
"Ye ho kya hai?" It feels like we're walking with Godfather. So yeah,
So yeah,
so yeah.
So,
that's a little bit of
आदित्य
history.
जाम्बले जी, आप अपनी lineage check करिए, कहीं सरस्वत ब्राह्मण तो नहीं है आपके कश्मीरी
बताइए
family में?
जामले जी.
हाँ, गोवा में काफी सरस्वत ब्राह्मण हैं।
Yes, yes, that is correct. Yeah.
अर्चना जी, मेरे को बोला आपने,
Actually,
मैं भी
वही बात है, वही
से-
बात है. It
मैं-
is because,
We'll be one big family here.
yeah, it is true because I'm a Goan Brahmin and I'm a Karade Brahmin, so proper
All
Karade
right
Brahmin. So वो भी कहा जाता है, मेरे दादाजी भी कहते थे कि कहीं ना कहीं हम ऊपर से ही आए हैं, and that ऊपर meant always Kashmir only.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yes.
I think we are a little bit pushing on the
Over
time.
time, yes.
And yeah, but it's
Yes,
been a
yes,
very
yes.
fascinating and interactive session, much more than I anticipated. And एक idea है Archana
हाँ जी.
for Lokesh. I think we were talking about the stories. So there is a book you had talked about by Ramesh Tamiri
Yes.
about the
About,
1948
that
So-
is about the Kabali raids.
Kabali
Kabali.
raids.
That
So
he has just recently
Mhm.
written. In fact, we were supposed to interview him, but he
yes,
got delayed somehow, and then obviously this opportunity came along. He will be next on our show.
zoomed up. So,
And yes, and
So-
he has written a fascinating. They're like basically oral history of what actually happened when Kabali raids happened during that time in October 1947. So he just finished his book, and that's just recently been. I think it is on now on Amazon. So we were
So-
waiting for that. So
So Lokesh,
ahead.
just to
Okay.
mention that part of the history is hardly written anywhere,
Nowhere.
and it is much, I shouldn't say more, but it's a lot of stuff that happened in
Yeah.
1948 about the Sikhs and the Punjabis who lived in that part of the what we call as POK, and no media or print, nothing was there. So it was just not so nothing was there. So this could be an interesting topic, and this gentleman has captured it really well. I have not read the book. I think Archana will have the access to
I
the
have
book.
some
Then,
excerpts. Yeah, I have read some excerpts.
so
I-
it's something to think about. But
No, it would be very interesting to read the book. In fact, we have I mean, I don't want to get into the details, but our grandfather also, my dad's dad, during the Kabali raid, he walked from POK
There you go.
very far distance into Baramulla and then into Srinagar, escaping a lot of attacks and
Wow.
everything. So we also have an oral history within the family about
Right,
the
Excellent.
Kabali attacks.
Excellent.
So
He walked from Gilgit to Srinagar, 450 kilometers,
Oh my
and
goodness.
there were 7 of them, and they were escaping the attacks.
Yeah.
And it was literally like the attackers were basically the whole distance. The attackers were 1 kilometer behind them.
Yeah. This
So
is
the
a
whole
fascinating
distance
thing.
they were just
Talking about thrillers, right? Actual in life.
No, and I think getting the
Yeah,
truth
yeah.
out. I mean,
Yeah,
that's it's a
absolutely.
very
I'm
difficult
just saying,
topic, but somebody has to
so
do
much-
it. So
so
yeah.
much to talk about.
No,
and
we'll
so much-
definitely we'll definitely read it and evaluate and everything.
We'll
It's an
touch
important
base
story.
with you when we do invite Dr. Tamiri, and maybe we
We'll
can
invite-
invite you as well. Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Great.
So
Let's
I
all
think,
go and watch the movie now. Okay, I think this
we
weekend
have
Yes.
to.
Yes.
So,
watch the movie.
so it is on Fandango. Please buy your tickets. It is available. I mean, the movie is going to be running on, in I think Monica was saying like at least 250 or some theaters in US,
Lovely.
in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, in tri-state, in
Actually,
Florida, California, wherever.
150 theaters.
150 theaters. So please check on Fandango, buy your tickets. Friday. Let's all go. So that's the
Yes.
idea. And
Rakesh
certainly we
Thaplu
will.
has a question.
Rakesh Thaplu has a question. Okay. Rakesh ji, tak kya boat teo kas kormut kya dili?
You're on mute, I think, Rakesh ji.
You're
You're
not
on mute.
audible,
You're on
Rakesh.
mute, Rakesh ji.
Huh? Where did
Shivratri has
Rakesh
come a
go?
little early
Oh,
for
he's here.
Rakesh ji.
Rakesh ji, you are on mute. We can't hear you.
Baby's telling me to take a little walk, Mom.
So,
Okay.
can you hear me now?
No. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
All right. Okay.
Yes, yes.
All right. Thank you. Lokesh, first of all, Mami, Aditya Jhambhale, thank you so much. Appreciate you coming here. I had one quick question on the screening of the movie. In a lot of US cities, it's not in the theaters. I wanted to know, how do we get in touch with your distributor here, or how do we get the movie into our theaters in the city? I live in Columbus,
Distributor is
Ohio.
sitting there.
Yeah, she's here.
We are the distributors. We are the
Perfect.
distributors.
Perfect. So,
So it's playing in Columbus everywhere. So what we'll do is, Monica, who's also on the call, she's also working with us and helping us. So she will share a list with you. It's playing in almost 160 locations, and all the major
it.
places are covered. So
okay.
And
Perfect.
and you'll see it on Fandango popping it up as well in the next
Because
couple of days.
I was looking at the theaters nearby. I didn't see it there
Yeah.
for the coming weeks.
Because
So,
what happens is on Fandango they start populating much later. But
okay,
we'll
got it.
share the list on this thing so that all our Kashmiri community people know where to go for
Thank you.
tickets.
The other thing which
Okay.
related to that, we are getting the Ohio State University students, Indian community, to
Mhm.
book the hall and get all of them into the theater. So I
Excellent.
do it normally with a lot of good movies here. So I work with them. So I want to do that for this one as well.
Excellent.
Great.
Thank you so
Thanks a
much.
lot. Anything
Thank you.
to take it to more people. Thanks.
Excellent.
Thanks everyone.
Absolutely. And Neetuji, could you just put spotlight on Monica if she's around, so that people who know she's been kind of helping us, kind of navigate. And of course, we can always ask Lokesh and Aditya and the team to help us out. So if no one has any other answers, I mean, I hate to end this conversation here, honestly.
But you have to. You have
Yes.
to.
I did want to
Thank
wrap up my segment that I started, that everyone jumped into. Just a little bit.
Go
हमारी
ahead.
आदत है कश्मीरियों की नाक इतनी लंबी है, it goes everywhere, so it's fine. I did.
Just a small request. I think Yami needs to take a break. My
Yes.
pregnant
Yes, of
wife.
course.
You're under the weather. You're under the weather.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I could
Please,
see.
yeah, please do.
I did want to hit it's more of a thank you. I feel like everyone has said the sentiments, is that what happened in 1990 was so horrific that we didn't have a chance to mourn. So how Yami was saying, like, this, her friend wasn't speaking, how Geeta auntie was saying that students in college weren't speaking. I think we never had that chance to mourn, and we never had that platform to speak. And with the film industry making such films, I think you guys give us so much power to use our voices. I feel like if I had not seen the Kashmir Files, if I had not known about Article 370, I would have never pressurized my papa to tell me what happened when you were a youth in Kashmir. I want to know everything. So it's like a really big thank you. Being born like 7,000 miles away from home, which is Kashmir, I feel like you guys have portrayed the essence of Kashmiri culture and the land very beautifully. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Devi. That was
Thank you.
so well put. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
As
Thank
always,
Good
you.
luck.
Bye.
Best of luck.
good
Thank you,
things have
Archana
to
ji. Thank you,
end.
Sanjay
So
ji.
Bye.
let me
Bye.
thank you so much, Yami. I just
Thank
want
you.
to thank all of
Thank
you.
you, Yami,
Thank you.
and good luck to the whole
Thank you.
team.
It has been a
Geeta ji.
fascinating, riveting
All the best.
conversation. And I can only, we all, hope that this movie does so well. And we will, of course, urge our community throughout the world, wherever they are, go and watch the movie and take at least 4 to 5 non-Kashmiri friends with you, and try and circulate the information with your friends wherever they are. and let's make this movie a blockbuster. It tells our story. We have an obligation, a duty to do that. So please do that. Again, I thank all of you. I know, Yami, you definitely need to go and rest. Thank you. You can just leave. Please do. Take care of
Thank you.
yourself.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Aditya,
you.
thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Thank you. Aditya Jhambhale ji, thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you so
Lokesh
much.
ji, thank you so much for attending this program. And we wish you super, super success in this movie and the rest of your movies, which you will be producing on your platform, directing, producing, whichever way. God be with you.
Thank
Bless
you.
you.
Thanks,
And
everyone.
Thank you.
it is
Great.
a moment of pride for us. And thank you so much. I do
Thank
want to
you.
thank all the audience who have joined us from all over the world. Thank you very much for being patient. This conversation did go a little longer than we had anticipated, but we enjoyed every minute of it. So thank you so much. And of course, thank you to my team, Sanjay ji, Geeta, Siddhi, Neetu, Indu, and whoever has helped, Anil, in the background. So until the next ZoomDub, we will meet you then. Sanjay ji and I will be back with another interesting guest. We are working
Yes.
on that. We have a long list of people who we do want to introduce to our community here. So until next time, thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend ahead.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.